welcome back once again to another episode of Jack's Tech Corner. Somebody emailed me yesterday, and we were emailing each other back and forth, and he said, Jack, exactly what do you mean by shows? Do you have a show on, the internet or something? I feel that the YouTube is shows. These are shows that I produce, and that's why I refer to it as a show more than a YouTube video. So with that out of the way, let's also just stop and just really briefly, because I have a lot I want to explain to you here in this episode. But just really briefly, if you go to jackstechcorner.com, I wanted to bring this up and show you that I updated the web page if you haven't been there lately, and there's a lot of options now for your DVD selection. We got Volume 1, Volume 2. I have the Mac edition out, which is Photoshop Elements 6, because that's what's currently on the Mac, as well as some iPhoto 09 on there. So I think you'll be pretty pleased with that DVD if you're using a Mac. It covers a lot of aspects. There's also down here 2 DVD set. The price is, you save some money there. It's $27. And then there's a full 3 DVD set. And you may say, Jack, if I have a Mac, why do I want all those DVDs? Because there's a lot of videos on these two, Volume 1 and Volume 2, that's not duplicated. And then the Mac edition covers a lot more of your Element 6 and your iPhoto. So that's why you may want a 3-disc set. Also, my buddy Ken, the Green Screen Wizard, don't forget to check him out. Somebody recently asked me, Jack, could I get your email address? It's right here at the top. There's a link for the email. So, bookmark that page. Visit me often. I do change things around here. Over here is the survey that some of you have taken. Thank you very much. YouTube channel. That takes you to my YouTube channel for all of my YouTube shows. There's about 100 videos up right now. The show blog, which I update here and there, and our web forums. And if you've never been to forums before, forums is a good thing. You go there, you can learn, you can ask questions, and not only I may answer you, but anybody else that watches the actual shows may help you out. So that, I wanted to show you that really quickly. Next, I talk a lot about look in the show notes. Now, a lot of people, one time when people podcast, they put show notes on their blogs. I put my show notes right over here on the side of YouTube. And if you click on More Info, you'll see anything over here. That's important for today's show, so make sure you pay attention and you know where to find the link that I'm going to put in the show notes. That's where you'll find those. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to go back here and we are going to check out our email inbox for the day. And when I got this email from Sky Photos, thanks, Eric. I'm sorry, Eric. I got this email from Eric, and Eric is talking about sprucing up the sky a little bit. And he also has a hobby of flying. And Eric, at one time, I did fly also. Piper Cubs, mostly Cessnas. So I had a lot of fun doing that. So I understand that's a very enjoyable hobby. Now, he has a question about fixing up the sky. He lives somewhere out in the state of Nebraska, and I guess the skies are kind of grayish out in Nebraska. He's kind of curious about how he would fix that up. And he has a little dilemma. He wanted to illustrate it here with a couple attached pictures, which this is what we're going to use actually for the show, Eric. So pay attention, follow along. Now, and I thought once I got this email that, man, I've done, a video just recently on how to do skies, and I was using actually Photoshop Elements 7 and the new Smart Brush tool. So I thought for you folks out there with Photoshop Elements 6, I need to address this issue, and Eric hit the nail on the head tonight. Now when I address this issue, there's also another email that I received recently about how do you install gradients. Now gradient, as you know, is the different 2, 3, 4 colored basic layer you would put on a picture to change the picture itself. So I have to address that problem also. That's why I said we have a lot of show to do here, and I want to address all those issues. So the picture that I'm using for this episode to fix the sky is this one. I thought the sky was a lot more white. It'd be a lot more fun and dramatic than if I just brightened that one up. So we're going to work with this one because it's kind of dead. And Eric, I see what you mean. You poor guy in Nebraska flying through that kind of sky, it may not be a whole lot of fun. Flying's always fun. Alright, let's get back to the show. Now, I found this website when I was looking for the gradients. There's also brushes in here. There's icons, tutorials, which I didn't watch them, don't know what they are. All I was concerned with was, can I download free gradients? And I'll put this in the show notes. Don't forget, I'll put it over in here. You'll be able to click here and click on a link, and it will take you to this. That just makes it easy, because I'm not going to read this off, and I know in the YouTube videos you can't read that anyway, so I'll have it in the show notes for you. Now, once I went in here, I went to gradients, and I started looking through it, and I said, well, we need a gradient to fix that sky, and there's really nothing built into Photoshop Elements 6 to really address that. So I thought, well, maybe I can find a nice gradient that would work. Well, I did, right here. Look at that, Sky Photoshop Gradients. Well, that sounds like what I need, so I clicked on that. I said, okay, well, I want to download this. Now, these folks here, they're great with their free tools. They're terrible with their downloads, guys. Get this straightened out. You need like a one-click download. Watch how many clicks we have to go to download this thing. Scroll down first where it says download free. Click on that. Now here it is. We say, well, that's what we want. We want to download this. So now we got this little box here, File Factory. We click there. Say, okay. Well, here they are. Can I click? Oh, I can't click there. Now you have to go down here, so it makes it really, really hard to download these things. Upgrade to File Factory Premium. Don't know what it is. Probably don't need it. Try File Factory's basic service. Oh, it's downloaded. It's free. It's limited or throttled download speeds. Gradients aren't too big. Let's shoot for that. Let's put in this top secret code. We got to do that. So, folks, this is not the easiest download in the world I've ever seen. There you go. Now, wow, now we can begin download. Click on that. Here we go. Finally, we come up to a place where we can save the file. Now, if you're using Vista or if you're using XP, this should be about the same. Okay, I get a lot of people get confused with Vista, and I don't do a lot of Vista shows. Matter of fact, I used to do a podcast one time. People may remember me from there on Vista, but if I don't believe in a product, I can't do you justice on it. Not that Vista's bad if you're using it. If you buy it on a new computer, it works great. Just don't really buy it to upgrade an old computer because you get a lot of weird little problems. That's why you notice I still use XP. Okay. Now we're going to download this. So we have it here, save file. Don't open it in your Elements. Just save the file. Click OK. Now, what I did was, as you all know, I have a download folder on my hard drive because I download a ton of stuff. As you can see, I download a lot of stuff. I have one called Photoshop Plugins. And then I went in here and I made a new folder called Gradients. And then I downloaded it. Here, we'll download it again. Look, it's very fast. Okay, so we got that very quickly. Now that we have it downloaded, let's get rid of the web browser finally. Okay. We're going to open up our My Computer or Computer, whichever you have. Now here's where people get mistaken, and I know I did too. Normally when you're installing things in Elements, you'd go to the C drive, Program Files, Adobe, Photoshop Elements 06 is what you were using. Sorry. You go to Presets, and then you would think you would just paste it in here. Now, there's an issue there. And, Photoshop was really nice. Adobe was really nice because if we're in 7, we go to Presets. Look where the gradients are. Same place. I pasted it in there thinking I can use it. Wrong. You cannot use it. Let's go back up out of here. Okay. Now, I hope I'm not going too fast. I try to follow along. I try to do these as slow as possible. All this does is take you back up through your tree or your file folders or directories or whatever you like to refer to these as. Just to get back to the C drive or the root. Okay. Now, where you have to install this thing at to make it work correctly is go to Documents and Settings. Okay. And on Vista, I know it's called something totally different. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But Documents and Settings is not there. I think it might be called Personal Settings or something. But anyway, you're looking for all your users' names. Look for the user that you log into your computer as. And if your name is not in here, it's probably just administrator. So I'll go to my name, Jack. Now here's the problem. You see these folders that are kind of grayed out? This is a little lesson in Windows. These are actually hidden folders. Let me show you what that looks like here real quick. Just watching my time. I'm already at 10 minutes, so I don't want to bore you, but I want to make sure you get this episode down pat because this is tricky. Let's go to view. Let's go to do not show. This is the way yours most likely looks because I have a lot of people email me when they was doing brushes and such and said, Jack, I can't find it. I don't know where it's at. Because the files or folders that you need are hidden. So you need to go to Tools, Folder Options, View, and we need to unhide those. Show Hidden Files and Folders. Click Apply. Now, with that unhidden, you can get to this one called Application Data. Very important folder. As you can see, almost every application on the computer has something in the application folder. Now, we're going to go down through here, and I had trouble finding it before. I'm going to go to Adobe, and then Photoshop Elements. Now, if you go into 6, and then go into Presets, and you go into Gradients, okay, paste it right there. That's where you want it. And you're going to see why in just a minute when we go to load this gradient into Elements so we can use it. Alright, so now that you have that, just remember just to dig down and remember to show hidden folders. It's very, very important. Let's close this. This is what we're going to come up with. If you remember the original picture, right? That's the original picture. And I didn't use any of the smart brush tools that we had in Element 7. And I know a lot of you keen viewers out there are going to email me and say, Jack, you can see up here this is Photoshop Element 7. And you're correct, this is 7. But this is going to work in 6 because I'm not going to use my smart brush tool. I am going to just use different types of layers to get this nice blue effect on the sky. So, how do we get there? Well, let's start from the beginning and see how we get there. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to load the original picture up. I'm going to open. I saved it on my desktop called Sky One. Here's the picture that Eric sent me. And Eric, thank you again for the tutorial on skies in Element 6. Now the first thing we're going to do, everybody out there, if you know this one, you're just going to raise your hand and say right away, you're going to duplicate the background, Jack. Yeah, you're right. There. Control J or Command J on the Mac. That's going to duplicate that background. Right? And I just shut that off because then I don't have to worry about seeing that anytime. So I just turn it off. I don't need it right now. Now, the first thing we have to do is select the sky. The reason we're going to make a selection is because we just want to work on the sky. We don't want to work on anything underlying down here in the trees or down here. We don't want to change any of this when we're affecting the color because we're going to affect the overall color. So I got my handy dandy quick selection tool selected. And I'm just going to go across this sky here just like that. If you have some of this tree down here, just hit the minus button, just go over it. You can leave these ones. We'll fix that after a bit. Don't worry about that too much. Okay. Now, the first thing I thought I would do is we're going to give this sky a little pop with the new sky gradients that we just downloaded. So, if we click on the Create Adjustment Layers, and we go to Gradient. I want to do this as a layer because if I just pop a gradient on there, I'm going to have a real hard time if I get anything on these trees trying to get rid of it. Where if I use it here, the Adjustment Layer Gradient, remember it creates a mask, and we can use that mask to our advantage. Now, well, that's definitely not the right color, unless there's a big storm coming. Click the pull-down menu, and then click the little button over to your right. See this little one here? There we go. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to load gradients. See right here? Because these blue ones aren't there yet on yours. So we're going to click on load. And when you do that, look what I told you earlier. Let's look at the path where this thing is. Documents and Settings, My Name, Application Data, Adobe, Photoshop Elements 7 or 6. If you're in 6, it's going to be the same. Don't get excited. Presets and Gradients. You're going to click on here and that's going to load your blue gradients up in here. Now, your job is to pick one that you think is going to work. I think earlier I picked this one. I clicked OK. And there you go. It's a beautiful blue sky, right? No, you're saying right now, Jack, that looks like crap. It's absolutely worthless. And you're right. So what we need to do is, if you think about this a little bit, anytime something is too overbearing or too much color on a layer, what do? We drop the opacity. That's what we do. Let's drop this opacity down till we start seeing the clouds back through there. Just enough. Alright. Now that looked pretty good. I thought, wow, we made that sky pop a lot more there, and it looks pretty nice. But then I gave it a little bit of thought, and I said, no, I need it to pop a little bit more. There's just not enough there yet. So what I did was I clicked back on this layer again. Now this time, click on the little pull down menu, and we're going to click on our hue and saturation, right? We want to resaturate that sky. But before we do that, I forgot a step. This is very important. Make the selection again of that sky. Because if we do that hue and saturation, what's going to happen is we're going to affect the whole picture again, right? We don't want to do that. Actually, you know what? This time we're going to leave this tree selected here. Just like that. Okay. Now that we have it selected, now you can go up here. Make sure you're clicked on level 1 or layer 1 here. Okay. Now let's go back to hue and saturation. Now let's adjust the hue a little bit. Get that sky a little darker, right? We can make it a little darker. We don't make it purple. Saturate a little bit more. Give it a little bit more deeper colors. Right? You don't want to oversaturate something because then it looks really, really blown out. We can lighten it or you can darken it a little bit based on what you want. That looks pretty good. Now, the reason I told you to have to worry about these trees, if you made those trees blue or not, because this is on a layer, right? It's on a layer mask. We can actually go over this with our brush tool. We can fix that. So if we're here, take your magnifying glass and look at it. You may have to look at it really tight in. There you go. And you can see now where they're kind of blue, tinted. Will you see it when it's full frame? Maybe, maybe not. If somebody gets real close to your picture, it might say, boy, that's pretty crappy. You got blue on the trees. So what we need to do here is paint with white, I think. Let me see here. I get confused with this too every now and then. Drop our brush size down. We're actually going to paint right back through here a little bit. That brush size could be smaller, but you get the general idea. What you're going to do is just get rid of that. Let's get black here and see. I'm sorry, you want to paint with black. Yeah, I know, I get confused at times. I've been doing this for a long time. So, think when you make a mistake and you go, boy, I tell you, I wish I was like that Jack and never made a mistake. Well, think again. And this would be a lot better if I had my Wacom or my Wacom board, however you want to pronounce it, hooked up, you know. You could actually go through here and actually fix this stuff a little better. But you can see what I'm talking about. You can get the blue right out of there. Just like so. And for time restraints, I'm not going to do it all, but I just wanted to show you that you can fix it up that way. There's a way you can do that, and you can get it all fixed up there. Then just go to View, Fit the Screen. And then what you're doing here in the background, if you look, there you go. If you look in this background right here, you're actually just taking some of that blue off those trees. It's only going to really matter if somebody really gets really in depth with your picture and really look at it close. But Eric, I think you have to agree that the skies are now popping just by using a couple of masks here, little tricks, and those new, using the new gradients that we downloaded from that website. It helps a lot with the skies just to throw that on there. It does a lot of the work for you. Then all you have to do is adjust it with the hue and saturation. So I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial, and I won't keep you any longer for this lesson. So if you need to, stop it, start it over again, and do it a couple times and you'll catch on to it really, really quickly. I'm sorry for the viewer that emailed me about the gradients. I didn't have your email message up there. By all means, that is how you install gradients. That's why you lost your gradients and couldn't find them. Because you probably put them under I think you said you put them under program files, and that's why you couldn't find them when you was in the program. So that happens. Okay, so until next time, remember always, keep those shutters clicking, and keep the editors editing. Keep emailing me, commenting, and if you're not subscribed to the YouTube videos, please click the subscription button and subscribe. It's free. It benefits you by seeing all the new videos as soon as they're posted. Take care, and I'll see you back here very soon on Jack's Tech Corner, and bye for now.